Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, elephant in the room, yeah, I ripped a nail off. It was gross, but she is plastered for right now. But welcome to another reading. So, today we're doing a check-in specifically about something that you are working on manifesting. So, with this reading, I am making the assumption that you know what you're trying to manifest right now. And so today we're just going to take a look at where it is, what's going on, how you can bring it here faster, what's in the way, what is helping, all that good stuff. It's just a check-in. So, as always, I've gone ahead and shuffled out 3 piles for us. For pile 1, we have a garnet. For pile 2, we have a jade. And for pile number 3, we have a carnelian stone. Oh, okay. For some reason, I felt like mentioning just now that this is a peach-scented candle. I don't know if any of you guys are curious about what it smells like, or peach is like a confirmation for some of you, but that's what the candle is. So anyway, go ahead and pick whichever pile calls to you intuitively. Timestamps, as always, are in the video description. Thank you so much for being here. And if this reading resonates for you, then please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, share this reading with a friend who might enjoy it. And without much further ado, I'll see you guys at your reading. Pile number 1, hello. So if you guys chose the garnet crystal, then this is your reading. So we're going to take a look at where your manifestation is at this point in time. So I've gone ahead and shuffled your cards. These cards here will tell us where this manifestation currently is, what stage it's at. These cards in the middle will give us a look at what's helping your manifestation. We'll look at what's hindering your manifestation with these cards. And then finally, we'll take a look at some advice from the oracles. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So where is your manifestation right now? We have the 8 of Wands in reverse. And that's clarified by the Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, it kind of feels like you're losing steam a little bit with this thing. Things are slowing down a little bit, and it's primarily because it's almost like you're starting to lose patience and passion for it. So say now you started a business and you haven't seen results yet, and it's been a while, and you're starting to feel like, what's even the point? There's nothing for me to look forward to. And therefore, with that energy out in the universe, that's kind of what the universe reflects back to us. So maybe the universe is like, all right, well, clearly you're in the mood for slowing down, so let's slow things down. And that's kind of where things are at. Let's look at the rest of the cards, actually. We have Justice, and that's clarified by the 2 of Swords in reverse. Okay. I see what's going on. So, where is your manifestation? This very much feels like success of some sort. It's like you're working towards either a career or a degree, some sort of academic achievement, some sort of sporting achievement, whatever it is, it's an achievement of some sort. And it feels like progress has slowed down a little bit, or feels slow. And honestly, it kind of feels like it's simply a perception thing, right? So it's like you may be someone who is used to instant gratification. You may be someone who is used to things manifesting like that, like it's nothing at all. And then suddenly, when things are going a little slow, in your mind, you're like, oh, it's not happening instantly, which means it's not meant for me, or which means it's never going to happen. It's like, it's very black and white thinking. And it does feel like with 2 fire cards in reverse, fire energy is that passionate, instant energy. It's the kind that's like, oh, I have an idea, I'm going to act on it right now, and it's going to happen right now. And with both of those in reverse, it kind of tells me you might be embodying the negative side of that energy. Like, obviously, positive and negative is relative and it's not absolute, but generally the negative traits of fire signs are impatience, anger, a dissatisfaction, feeling like nothing is working in your favor simply because it's not happening fast enough. So your manifestation is simply taking longer than you expected, not because anything is in the way. I mean, we'll look at that in more detail, but it more feels like it was never going to be as quick as you expected it to be. Like, it's not normal for it to manifest as instantly as you were expecting it to. Because with justice here, it's like, it definitely gives me the sense of everything is balanced. This is the Libra card. It's all about balancing the scales. And for it to be clarified by the Two of Swords in reverse, it's like you're seeking some sort of sign from the external world that you're doing what you're meant to do, right? You might be considering abandoning ship and moving on to something else, or just giving up. But with the Justice cards here, it's kind of telling me you're on the right track. You're doing what you are supposed to be doing. It is just that you may have miscalculated how long something like this would take. So say now you're an athlete, right? Say you're an athlete and you have a goal to reach a certain level of skill by 2 months, right? In 2 months of time, you want to run like a 2-minute mile, okay? And that seems unrealistic to everyone else. But because you may have been like a gifted child, you may be used to doing better than average in general. And so when things take you as long as they would anyone else, you almost feel like a failure. And in a similar way, with whatever this manifestation is, you may be so used to having high expectations of yourself that when this takes a normal, healthy amount of time, to you that feels slow because your context is very different. Your benchmark is completely different. Your baseline is different. So it's like, even though it's taking the same amount of time for you to find success as it would anyone else, to you, that feels like failure. So, yeah, where is your manifestation? It is completely on track, but the only reason it feels slow is because you're running, right? You're trying to rush through it. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So let's take a look at something that is helping your manifestation. So to start, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Clarified by the Empress. Beautiful. What is helping your manifestation right now is you staying put. You staying where you are, not giving up with the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is someone who is not ending whatever they're doing. And the Empress is someone who sits down in one place and allows the world to bring abundance to her. So obviously these two cards together are just straight up telling me that you don't have anything else you need to be doing. You've done everything you need to do. And right now it is simply a waiting game. It's about patience and persistence. But also, it might really help you to do a bit of healing with your feminine energy. with your divine feminine, which every one of us has. It doesn't matter whether you identify as a boy or a girl or anything else. Every one of us has that element, that what we call it feminine, but what it really is receptivity. It is the ability to increase your self-worth to a point where you feel comfortable receiving for no reason other than you want to, right? So what will help this manifestation, and what is helping this manifestation, is you tapping into your receptive energy, into patience, into understanding, and having that confidence that what is yours will find you. It will find you today, it will find you tomorrow, it might find you in a couple of weeks, but it will find you. And your job is to hold still so that it has a fixed anchor to work towards, right? Next, we have the Three of Wands in reverse again, and that's clarified by the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty much the same exact message. The Three of Wands in reverse is about staying put, staying at home, not going out beyond what is familiar. That's the usual meaning of it. But in this context, it's really just telling us that you don't really have to do anything that you haven't thought about yet. You're not missing out on anything. You're not, nothing is amiss, is what I was trying to say. It's like you're not forgetting to do something important, or, you haven't made any mistakes that are causing this delay. None of that. You've done all the work. You are simply used to being fast with things that you can control, but this is something you cannot control. This is the universe trying to meet you at a certain energetic frequency, and it's going to take time for you to evolve into the person that has this success, right? And then it will be instant. With the Knight of Cups in reverse, this is definitely telling us, like, do not run away with your emotions. Do not run away with the feelings of anxiety and fear and, wanting things done immediately, instantly. That it would really help if you took... Oh, what's interesting is we have all four elements in this, and the only upright one is the earth element. We have water in reverse, fire in reverse, air in reverse. All three of these are elements in motion. The earth element is stable and grounded. So, and it is also the only major arcana in this little quadrant. Oh, interesting. Here, the major arcana is the only one upright as well. There's definitely an element of fate here. You are very much where you are supposed to be. Like, you haven't accidentally stumbled upon whatever situation this is about. Like, if you are trying to manifest it, it's because you are supposed to, you are meant to. And you have done your part of the deed. It is now time to sit down and embody the energy of someone who already has it. Because that's that final switch that will bring this to you. Let's look at the archetype you're embodying, or you should embody, that will help this. We have the box. I'm not reading reversals for this today because these cards like to spin around when I'm shuffling and moving them around. The box. This is number 44. Interesting. Four is the number of stability. And double fours. Okay, interesting. And the box has four sides. Wow. The box, the cage, the rules, the norm. We all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, and expected. It holds us in place while simultaneously holding us back from our greatest visions. The box is sneaky, insidious, and everywhere, limiting us at the most unconscious levels. It is built of a layer upon layer of social constructs and pressures. Breaking through its confines requires awareness, continued effort, and bravery. The box shifts and morphs as we grow. This is part of its multi-layered nature. Once you break through one layer, another will present itself to you. Keep going, breakthrough, and exquisite life requires it. Structure, order, coherence, logic, limitation, rigidity, judgment, fear. Okay, so first of all, what will help you is working through limiting beliefs, because like we've seen so far, there isn't any physical, real world 3D action you need to take, because it feels like you've done everything. And like I was saying, it feels like it's time to level up internally to embody this abundance mindset, or the mindset of success. Because that is that final push that you need in order to get it to come to you. And perhaps the impatience isn't so much impatience, it is a self-esteem issue. It is a self-worth issue. Interesting. The reason I say that is because it feels like you may think that it's not happening fast enough, and you may convince yourself that it's simply because you're impatient. However, deep down, it could just be a fear that this thing will never come to you because you don't deserve it, because you haven't earned it, because you're not the kind of person that these happy things happen to. And it's that kind of self-worth issue masking itself as impatience. Interesting. And maybe that's one of the layers of this box archetype that you're gonna have to break through. And that would truly help you get in the right frame of mind to be receptive, because that could be what's hindering your receptivity, is this sense of, well, I'm not worth more than where I currently am, and therefore it doesn't really matter. Like, I'll go around complaining that I'm not getting the things that I want, but it's not like it's going to come to me anyway, so I might as well, you know? Interesting. Wow, we're getting deep. Reading 1. Let's go. Okay, finally, well, not finally, but almost finally, let's take a look at what's blocking your manifestation, what is in the way. So we'll start with the tarot. We have, the Emperor in reverse. And that's clarified by Strength in reverse. Wow, okay. The first time we have Major Arcana in reverse, and they are both Major Arcana, and they're both fire signs again. Wow, okay. This is Aries and Leo energy. Again, lots of fire energy in reverse. It's like you feel strongly, you feel passionately about something, but you're putting your passion in the wrong place. With the Emperor in reverse, clarified by Strength in reverse, the Emperor is someone who is a trailblazer. He is someone who knows his strengths and weaknesses and knows when to apply them and how to apply them. It's that Aries energy. To have that in reverse kind of tells me that, well, the dark side of Aries is impatience. It is the feeling that you need to rush into things. You don't care about the consequences as long as it happens quickly. And that's clarified by Strength in reverse, which, what's interesting is Strength upright is about picking your battles. It's about having the strength to fight any battle that you need to, but knowing that you don't have to fight every single battle. So with these two in reverse, and together, it kind of gives me the idea that you might use that impatient energy to, that impatient energy is kind of causing you to expend way more energy over things that really don't matter, as opposed to things that do matter. Because right now it feels like you're in a time where your effort, your inner strength, your time is of the utmost value. And wasting it over, chasing something quick and fast and, instant gratification, all of that is simply, just that. It is a waste, And in fact, not only is it a waste of energy, it is actively hindering your progress or your success in whatever this endeavor is. Next, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, okay. And the Four of Pentacles. There's that stability energy again. Refusing to walk away from what's familiar. And I think this is more in like a esoteric sense than like a literal sense. You're not being called to walk away from this project or this passion or this interest or career. You're being called to walk away from that self-worth issue that's keeping you stuck where you are. Because the Eight of Cups upright is about walking away. So in reverse, it's like refusing to walk away. And the Four of Pentacles is someone who holds on to what he has, despite the fact that if he simply lets go, he might receive more, but he's so afraid to let go because he's like, what if there isn't more? But there always is more. The universe is infinite and incredibly abundant, and in this context, it kind of feels like you're holding on to thought patterns and almost self-defense mechanisms that once served you, sure, but they are actively getting in the way of who you want to become. Because we cannot be who we want to be without letting go of who we already are. Right? We need to create that space within ourselves, within our world, for the new version of us to come in, for the new happiness, the new love, the new success, abundance, wealth, all of it to come in. You can't fill an overstuffed box. Yeah, that could be another reason this is here. But what's blocking you is, one, the refusal to walk away from what's familiar, and that's usually thought patterns and belief systems. And two, the fact that your impatience is causing you to fight every single battle, even though your effort is completely not needed. You're starting to get defensive maybe, or sensitive, or just angry about things that really don't have any sort of effect on who you are or who you are becoming or where you're going. It is simply you trying to expend energy in unproductive ways. So it might be useful to channel your energy into something more productive, perhaps creative, with all this fire energy that's trying to come out. And the oracle cards we have here is, there we go, Surrender Now in reverse, Moth Spirit. Yeah, it's that sense of refusing to let go. This is number 39. I am going to read this from the book as well. Moth Spirit can be intense, and honesty about your own compulsive tendencies is needed right now. It is too easy to switch from one addiction to another, distracting yourself from the discomfort of uncertainty and the thoughts and emotions that arise when you aren't single-mindedly pursuing a goal. Moth Spirit calls you to practice moderation in all things, and recognize when you think you are headed towards the light, but are really heading into a fire that will cause burnout. Now is a time to do a fearless inventory so that your addictive tendencies can be toned down and rechanneled into enthusiastic activity in moderation. Listen to Moth Spirit's message that a change is needed to support your well-being. Take that as it resonates, because maybe it is about like an actual addiction, like a substance issue or something like this. However, it could also just be addiction to what you already know, addiction to a certain way of thinking or seeing the world, addiction to things that no longer serve you, but they are familiar. And it is time to let those go right now, because you need that space for what's coming in, because it truly does feel like something massive is coming in with this Empress here. Beautiful energy. It is infinite abundance, and that is wanting to come in, but it can't cram into a small gap. You need to create space for it. You need to create a vacuum that will invite it in. So what's blocking you is your refusal to surrender old ways of being. That's what we need to work on. So finally, let's take a look at some advice for you, Pile 1. We have Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. And we have We the Hathors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, Birth as a Portal. Okay, what's interesting is there's a lot of support here from what feels like ancestral energy, like maternal ancestral energy. Some of you may have lost a mother, some of you may have lost a grandmother, some kind of maternal figure, a guardian, a sister, something like this, an aunt that you were close to. Or it may feel like you've lost a maternal figure. But it truly feels like you have a lot of support beyond the veil. It's just that you're not able to consciously access it. And I think that ties into the theme of the rest of the reading, where it's not external, it is from within. Like, all this work that needs to be done from within. You've done everything in the physical world around you. It is just time to turn inwards. But you can very much call on the energy of your spirit guides, or that maternal figure that you may have lost, or just the spirit of the Divine Mother with like Hathor here. This could also be a mother wound, the self-worth issue. And that's something you're being called to heal. But with divine orchestration, I just want to tell you, Part 1, this is not an accident. You are not where you are because you made mistakes, or because the universe doesn't want you to be successful, or anything like that. This is very much part of your soul journey. It very much feels karmic a little bit, but more than karmic, it's about evolving. It's about growing into that person that has everything you desire. And up to this point, it feels like you've done everything that needed to be done. You've done the legwork. You've put in the hours. And even though that was like extremely hard work, that was the easy part of the process because there was a roadmap. Now, the hard part is going inwards and evolving into that person whose efforts actually pay off. And you don't have to do it alone. As this card tells us, there are helpers in the subtle realms. You can very much call on your spirit guides, a deity you work with, God, the universe, whomever you believe in, whomever you trust. You can call them in to help, and they will be more than happy to. You don't have to do this alone, but you do have to do this for yourself. All right, Pile 1. So that was your reading for today. Very interesting. This feels like a turning point in your life. So I wish you the very, very best. I truly, truly hope, and I know that you can do this, and that this evolution comes so easily to you. Okay? But yeah, that's your reading. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this reading. I truly hope it resonated and brought you some support and clarity. If it did, please do remember to like and subscribe. Comment below how this reading resonated for you. If you like what I do, you'd like to book a private reading, you can send me an email. Or if you'd just like to support my work, there is a link to my PayPal tip jar down in the video description. Your support would truly help. So thank you for that. And yeah, thanks so much for being here and sharing your energy and letting me do this reading for you. I hope it helped. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 2, hello, welcome. So if you guys chose the Jade Crystal, then this is your reading about a quick check-in on where your manifestation is. So as always, I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards. These cards here will tell us where your manifestation is, where we are in the process. These cards in the middle will tell us about what's helping this manifestation come to you quicker, what's enabling it. These here will tell us what's in the way, what's blocking your manifestation. And then finally, with these oracle cards here, we'll take a look at some advice for you about this situation. Okay, let's dive in. So, where are we in the process of having this manifestation come to you? We have the moon. Okay. Clarified by the star. All right. I'm going to go ahead and lay them all out. And we have the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. Where are we? The moon, the star, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Cups in reverse. I think we're at like a intermediate level. Oh, I just had to pop my knuckles. Sorry. Force of habit. I'll try not to do it. The moon is about not having any clarity, not knowing what's going on or what's going to happen, having a sort of undercurrent of fear, because you're not quite sure what's going on, really, where things are, because it's so dark. Right? The moon is also an emotions card. It could be Piscean energy or Cancer energy. I like to think of it as Cancer energy because I relate the moon to Cancer season. But in either case, it's about deep emotions. And with the star, this is about optimism. It's the energy of being hopeful, being wishful. Wishful thinking, but not in like a negative sense. So with these two together, it kind of tells me that I think you might still be in the process of trying to figure out how to make this happen, where it feels like you may not have complete clarity about what it is you want or how it's going to work out or what the actual steps are for you to get what you want. It's like you have optimism, you have a passion for it, but the road ahead isn't quite clear yet. With the Knight of Wands and the Page of Cups in reverse, it feels like you are full steam ahead. You are so ready to do your part, but it feels again like you're not sure how to do it. You're not sure where to begin or how to go about getting this to happen for you, bringing this into your life. But with the Page of Cups in reverse, the Page of Cups upright talks usually about almost a juvenile sort of love, a feeling of, when you first have a crush on someone and you get those butterflies and the possibilities are endless and you're like, oh, this is the one for me. This is the person I'm meant to end up with. And, there's all that idealization. That's kind of the energy. So in reverse, it feels like you're currently at this place where you're realizing how much of this desire, this dream, has been romanticized in your mind. And that's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing for that illusion to start to dissipate a little bit, because what follows from this point forward is ways to actually bring it into reality, right? So if we stick with the example of, your first crush, you know how we tend to idealize our person when we first fall for them, right? And then gradually over time, we start to see their flaws. We start to see the human aspects of them. And if it is true love, we fall in love with those aspects. But if it's simply like a juvenile crush, we kind of start to be like, okay, maybe this person isn't what I made them up to be in my mind. And over time, it disappears. But in either case, you move forward. Either you move forward towards the person or you move forward away from them. But no matter which outcome happens, it's a good thing, because you are no longer stuck in that limbo of not having all the information. So as far as your manifestation is concerned, right now, I feel like you're starting to gather enough information that it's tipping into sort of realism territory, where it's no longer just a dream. It hasn't realized yet. You're kind of starting to build a roadmap. And I think it's really interesting. You have the moon clarified by the star, because the moon is about shadowy energy, whereas the star is about hopeful, bright energy of like optimism. And it kind of feels like that combination of, it's very Seven of Cups-y. So if you know the tarot, you know that the Seven of Cups is all about illusions. Look at the infinite possibilities. We don't know what's going to happen, but we love that we have the illusion of choice. And it's kind of like that illusion is starting to fall away, but that's a good thing, because you're now going to start to see the truth of the situation, no matter which way it pans out. So let's take a look at what you are doing, or what habits or belief systems would help or are helping this manifestation come true. So to start, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse, clarified by the Three of Swords. Okay. And we have the Wheel of Fortune, clarified by the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So, the Nine of Wands in reverse, clarified by the Three of Swords. The Nine of Wands upright is usually someone who is faced with a challenge, and they're fully capable of handling that challenge and defeating it, but they don't know that they are capable of it yet. And to have that in reverse kind of tells me that you are coming to terms with the fact that you can fully handle whichever way the situation goes, because you have faced heartbreak. You have faced pain way worse than anything that this situation could offer you. And you've come out victorious, which means you've come out with the skills to not only manage that pain, but alleviate it. So having that confidence in yourself of, I'll be okay whether this happens or not. It doesn't matter. I'll be fine. I am capable of handling myself through this situation. That feeling is very empowering, because it really makes it so that fortune favors you. You know, they say fortune favors the brave. It doesn't mean fortune favors the people who go out to war and, show off their skills in the face of the enemy. It is about that confident energy attracting more reasons for you to be confident. So the more you indulge that self-esteem, that feeling of, I'm more than capable of working with this situation, whichever way it pans out. The more you indulge that energy, the more you'll find that you end up getting lucky breaks. You end up getting lucky a lot, if this is about that kind of thing. But you end up at the right place at the right time. You end up surrounded by exactly the right conditions that would allow you to thrive in this situation. Because it puts you in a position of power. With the Six of Pentacles here, this card is about generosity. It's about giving without expectation of reciprocity. It's about being the bigger person. But we normally think of that idea of being the bigger person as maybe a sort of way for people to get their way with you all the time. And it kind of has like a irritating connotation to it. But in this case, it kind of gives me the feeling that being the bigger person, or let me rephrase, being the more evolved person in the situation will allow you to, again, embody that confidence, to truly understand your power in this game. And that's how you manifest it. Because it's not about doing anything externally or, changing your belief system. It feels like you very much know you're capable of handling whatever the outcome is. It is just that sometimes you forget. And every time you remind yourself of, hey, I've dealt with worse, this is nothing. If it happens, that's wonderful. That's exactly what I want. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. I've dealt with worse. The more you enter that nonchalant energy, and I'm not saying don't be passionate about this thing that you love so much. Not at all. But don't be obsessed over whether the outcome will be exactly as you expect it or not. Why? Because that kind of obsession actually drives that outcome away. It's like a backwards law of the universe, where wanting it will make it go away from you, because it will just give you more of the experience of wanting it, i.e. not having it. So when you have something, when you know for sure that you have it, you're not still going to be in that energy of wanting it, right? Because you have it already. It's nonchalant. Like, think of the last time you wanted a really nice pair of shoes and then you got them. Do you currently still sit in the energy of, oh my God, those shoes were so awesome, I wish I had them? No, of course not, because you have them. You probably don't even think of them anymore. Like, it's just part of who you are now. And so the more you're able to embody that energy of, hey, this is just part of who I am now. And the more you embody the energy of, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter where this manifestation is right now, because it's mine anyway. And no matter what happens, I'll be fine. The more you can embody that energy, the more you'll find you have lucky breaks, the more you'll find you're in a position of power, of control, not control, but influence over the situation. What's the archetype? We have the healer. Beautiful. This is number 25. So I am going to read this from the book. I'm not reading reversals. Ooh, wrong book. I'm not reading reversals for this deck because these cards like to spin around a lot. The healer, the light worker, the gifted, the old soul. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya means forgetting, and it is said that this is the source of all suffering and disease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Ouroboros. Self-contained, grateful, awake. So definitely embrace the energy of gratitude and also the energy of remembering your power. I feel like this is very much rooted in you really reclaiming your power, remembering your worth, how important you are, and how powerful you are. And the more you're able to kind of bask in that energy, the quicker this manifestation can find its way to you, because this manifestation requires you to be in that place of power. And now let's take a look at what is blocking you, what's in the way. So I'm going to have to move these cards away. Let's start. What is in the way? What's blocking this manifestation? We have the Chariot in reverse, clarified by the Nine of Swords in reverse as well. What blocks you is when you stop trying because you convince yourself that you don't care enough. Right? So, interesting, because I just read these cards and they were like, oh, embrace the nonchalant energy. And now these cards are like, well, don't be too nonchalant though. I feel like you might be a pro at manifesting because these are nuanced little things. Like, you've done this. You've been around the block a lot, I feel like, because these are little things. These are not major, changes of perspective or, huge changes you need to make. These are nuances, right? So yes, embrace nonchalance, but not to the point where you convince yourself that this is not important to you anymore, right? With the Chariot in reverse and the Nine of Swords in reverse, it kind of tells me about going too slow, about not having a passion, not having a goal, not having a desire to see it through. And what that can do is sometimes put us in stasis. It can put us in limbo. It can keep us stuck in our comfort zone. And no one likes the comfort zone. Like, it's familiar, but it's never actually comfortable, if you noticed. So don't convince yourself that you don't actually care for this thing that you're manifesting. Yes, don't be like, I want it, I'm desperate for it. No. But also, don't go to the other extreme of, I don't even want it anymore. Because that's just a reworded version of I want it so desperately. It's like you've convinced yourself you don't want it because wanting it and not having it hurts. So it is just the other side of the same exact coin. You very much need to act as if you already have it, because the idea of being that defensive, of being like, I don't really even want it anymore because I don't care, that would push it away, because then it resets the clock. Then the universe is like, oh, okay, I guess you don't want it at all. So why would I bring you that experience? Next we have, these cards do not want to come with me today. The Knight of Coins in a reverse. And that's clarified by the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Other thing that would block you or could be blocking you is a refusal to take any action at all. Because you're afraid of it failing. You might come from a history of things like this just not working out for you, it just not ever being the right fit, especially with, if it's like a job or a business or something like this. You might resonate with a past where you ended up being stiffed for cash, you ended up just not getting paid your worth or not being valued in your team. And as a result, you just refuse to take any risks whatsoever. And again, that goes back to this energy of being almost passive, of being like, ugh, I don't really even care anymore. I'm not going to do anything about this. So really, it is about finding that perfect balance between being detached but not being defensive, or trying to think of a word for it. I don't know. It'll come to me if it's important. But in either case, it's like, yeah, show the universe that you're not desperate for it, but don't show the universe that you don't want it at all. Like, don't reject it completely, So again, like I said, it's like a very nuanced thing, part 2. Who are you? Do you manifest a lot? And do you do it really easily? Because it feels like this is something very fine-tuning. The animal spirit card we have is the Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. This is card number 60. Time for a deep dive. Okay, I am going to read this one from the book as well. What's blocking? Swan Spirit. With their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depths. When Swan Spirit arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is self-knowledge you are not aware of and great treasures to discover. As you come to know yourself more intimately, so too will you come to better know others. Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearances. Wow. Okay. Know there is much deeper potential for loving connections, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why. Asking the deeper questions of yourself, you are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. Okay. I very much think you guys are quite clued into manifestation and the laws of the universe and things like that. This right now is a time for fine-tuning. This is a time for nuance, like I've said over and over again. And I really do think that going deep and doing more meditation, doing more self-discovery will truly, truly help, because you might have healed all the big things, the big traumas and the drama and, all the stuff that we carry on, from our childhood. You may have healed all of that. However, there's little things that you haven't noticed, you haven't realized that you still carry, that might be actively affecting this manifestation, the situation. So what could be blocking you is thinking that you've done all the healing. Because, none of us have ever done all of the healing, right? It's just not a thing. And there might be a little bit of work you need to do in terms of self-discovery, self-acceptance, self-love. It always comes down to that. But that might truly help you find that balance between not wanting it and needing it, but also not rejecting it actively. Okay, so finally, let's take a look at some advice for you. We have break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Yeah, what did I say? You might come from a past of not having enough or constantly having the rug pulled out from under you. You might come from a very unstable past, if not financially or physically, emotionally. But right now is a time for you to go inwards and heal those little nuanced areas. Right now is a time for you to look within and look at old patterns that you might be repeating without even meaning to. Because there are things I feel within your past, within your experience, that you haven't even clocked as a difficult pattern that you need to rewrite. But it might be having a pretty big impact on who you are today. So, and this could be patterns that have been passed down through the generations, right? It could be family cycles. So that's definitely something to look at, to revisit, because there might be little details that you've missed that would truly help bring this manifestation into your reality really quickly. And finally, we have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Beautiful. I don't know what's on this card. It's like sticky, like glue. A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Yeah, this is definitely happening for you, pile 2. Like whatever you're manifesting, it is on its way. It is well on its way. It is in motion. You are now starting to bring it into your reality, like the illusion. One of the illusions that could be shattered right now is the illusion of separation between you and the thing. So, for instance, a lot of the times when we daydream about things we want to manifest, in our minds, we kind of compartmentalize it as, this is my actual reality and this is just a daydream that will probably never happen, but I like fantasizing about it. And right now, that gap between your real world and your imagined world is starting to dissipate, and you're starting to realize that in order to truly be there, to live that life, you're going to have to not be this person anymore, who you currently are. And so right now, you're starting that process of bridging that gap. And there's a bridge here. Interesting. So it's little details that you need to work on, part 2, but I feel like you guys are like well on your way. Like, your stuff. It's just about applying it. Okay, so that's your reading for today, part 2. I truly hope it helps because, you guys are clearly pros at this stuff. So I truly hope I was able to offer you some insight that you don't already have. But if this reading has helped, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below how it resonated for you. If you like what I do, would like to support my work, you can email me to see if we can do a private reading, or you can check out my PayPal tip jar. I have a link in the video description below. Thank you so much for being here today and spending your time with me and sharing your energy with me. I truly hope this reading has resonated and it's helped bring you some clarity. You can stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 3, hello. So if you guys chose the carnelian stone, then this is your reading. Welcome. Today we're taking a look at where your manifestation is currently. We're checking in on the progress of it. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards. These cards here will tell us where your manifestation is, what's going on. These cards in the middle will give us a look at what is helping your manifestation come to you quicker. These here will tell us what is blocking your manifestation. And then finally, with these 2 cards here, we'll take a look at some advice on how you can bring this into your life quickly. All right, let's dive in. The first few cards we have are, the Ace of Coins, beautiful. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and I am just gonna flip these guys over as well. The 7 of Coins, ooh, money, money, money. And the 2 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Part 3, whatever you've invested in is paying off big time very, very soon. So, with the Ace of Coins and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of all the knights. And specifically, this knight will not make a move unless he knows for sure exactly how things are going to pan out. So, to have that in reverse, clarifying the Ace of Coins, this tells me you're about to come into some very sudden wealth, whatever that may mean in context of your manifestation. Like you're suddenly about to be very abundant. And also, the things that you've invested in are going to bring you fruit in such a way that it doesn't feel quite such like a distant desire anymore. This is very positive energy. So let's get down to it. So the Ace of Coins and the Knight of Pentacles. The Ace of Coins is about the universe bringing you a new sense of abundance, a new revenue stream, a new source of income, or just new money, And with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this kind of tells me that this is going to come from a source that you don't really see coming, and you don't necessarily consider something you would put your stock in, It's like just out of nowhere, there's money coming to you from somewhere you did not expect at all. Like if I told you, say like a week in the future when this happens, if I told you a week ago, hey, you should look forward to getting money from this source or this person or this business, you'd probably laugh it off and be like, there's no way. And then it happens and you're like, whoa, And that's not me encouraging you to look at unusual places to put your money in and hope that it will unexpectedly make you a lot of money. No. But what I'm saying is you're about to come into some money from somewhere you wouldn't necessarily have expected it to come from. That's one thing. But the other thing is, with the 7 of Coins being clarified, that's 7 of Coins being clarified by the 2 of Wands in reverse. The 2 of Wands upright usually talks about someone looking off into the distance, making big plans for their future, looking to go beyond what they are familiar with, and having all these dreams and aspirations, being caught in the past or the future or both. The 7 of Coins is the card of investment. This is someone who is sowing their seeds, knowing that one day they will come to fruition. So to have that clarified with the 2 of Wands in reverse, which is essentially being thrown straight into the present moment, these two are kind of telling me that, yes, you will get income from an unexpected source, but also the things that you've invested in that you thought would take ages to reap rewards are actually reaping rewards now. And obviously, I've been thinking of this in terms of money because all these coin cards are literally money. But I guess if you think of, say, you're in school and you want to do good grades, you want to get good grades, you might find that you ace a test that you really did not expect to because you didn't study for it. And also the test that you studied for are bringing you good grades as well, right? Say this is a relationship, you'll find that if you've been single a long time, you might meet someone who you didn't really expect to meet. They might come from the most random place. However, all the work you've done into attracting this person is also going to pay dividends because this will be exactly what you were hoping for. Apply it to whatever context, but not only are you getting a new source of abundance, the stuff that you've invested in is also bringing you abundance. Like, this is a very abundant time for you, pile 3, which is incredible. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is helping your manifestation. So to start, we have the 3 of Cups in reverse, okay? And that's clarified by the 10 of Wands. Your manifestation is definitely being helped by you keeping it to yourself for the most part. With this 10 of Wands here, it kind of feels like there is, okay, I get it. So the 3 of Cups upright talks about celebrating with people you love and with friends and, you know, having a bunch of parties and drinks and all of that. To have that in reverse kind of goes the other way, right? It's about introversion. It's about not giving into like clubbing nights, you know? It's about not necessarily being in the most social mode. And you're very much being called to avoid discussing this manifestation with a bunch of people because it would put undue pressure on you. And say, for instance, you're someone with performance anxiety and you mention to a lot of people that you have a performance coming up, and every few days someone's asking how the practice is going, how you are feeling about it and stuff like that. And things like that can really stress you out. It can really make it way worse than it needs to be. Right? So what's helping this manifestation come in quicker is you simply keeping it to yourself, at least for the moment, because that way you're not under all that pressure to constantly be talking about the progress, seeing where it's reached and, you know, giving people updates about it and being like, oh, it hasn't come in yet. But then eventually you start to ruminate over it and you're like, oh, it hasn't come in yet. What am I going to tell people when they ask? Things like that. So what would really help right now is to just keep it to yourself. Even when this comes in, keep it to yourself for a bit, right? Until you've settled into the energy of it. Then you can go about celebrating or whatever. But for the moment, just keep it under wraps. What else is helping? We have, the 8 of Swords. And that's clarified by the 6 of Swords. Yeah, exactly. The 8 of Swords is about a self-created barrier, like a self-created prison of sorts. Okay? And usually that's a bad thing because it's like you're trapping yourself in a small little bubble. However, in this context with what we've just seen, it kind of feels like it would actually really help to create a bit of an energetic barrier around yourself, to create some walls for protection, because knowingly or unknowingly, there might be a lot of people who want to draw from you, who want to sort of pull some of that energy so that they can be successful as well. And that's perfectly normal. You know, when we share our successes, everyone wants to be a part of it and everyone wants it for themselves as well. And that's wonderful. That's how we inspire the world to become bigger and better. However, it feels like you might not be quite familiar or comfortable with that level of success yet. It might be quite new for you when it does come in, or if it already has come in. And it might be like, you know how when a baby is born, they tell you not to share it with a bunch of people, not to let a bunch of people come see the baby and give it kisses or whatever, because it's fragile, right? It's working on building immunity. So in the same way, it's like your sense of being this person who has all this success pretty much overnight, it's still quite fragile. You haven't settled into it yet. So you're definitely being called to keep your cards close to your chest, at least until you reach the 6 of Swords energy, where you're moving into calmer waters, where it's not as, as hyped anymore. It's not as new and fresh and nerve-wracking, but also exciting, that kind of energy, once that settles, you can tell everyone, you can tell anyone you want. But until then, you're very much being called to keep it to yourself, keep it shielded, keep it protected, at least until your new self has had their vaccines, you know? So what archetype are you being called to embody? We have the animal. This is card number 19, and I am going to read this from the book. The animal, the beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are mammals. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype we tap into power and direction. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense, drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. Vital, elemental, alive dancers. Okay, so the other thing that would really help bring this manifestation in quickly is for you, well, obviously to connect to nature, like the card suggests. So go out and maybe don't drink from a waterfall because it's better not to. But go out, touch some grass, walk around barefoot for a bit, sit in the sun, plant some trees, play with some flowers, I guess, make a flower crown. But also, in a more metaphorical sense, I think very much connect to your primal human self. We spend all this time, we watch all these tarot readings, and we spend all this time working on being less human and trying to be more divine, trying to be more connected to the universe and all up in like our third eye and crown chakras. But if you're not deeply grounded, if you're not deeply rooted, all of that spiritual evolution won't make a single difference to your physical life on this planet. And we are here to experience that duality of having that higher activation and also having that groundedness to the earth. So because it feels like so much of this is very earth element based, it could very well be about material abundance. Grounding into your root chakra, grounding into the earth, into your physical body, will really, really help you connect to the energy of this manifestation. Because when we want to manifest something, we really do want to take it from the ethereal and make it physical, right? That's the essence of manifestation. And it's all well and good to have that ethereal sense of expertise and mastery and whatnot. But the other half of it is to bring it down to the earth. So you're very much being called to maybe disconnect from everything and everyone for a few days and really ground into the earth. Really force your energy back into your body and become present in the present moment. That's the other meaning of this Two of Wands in reverse as well. So yeah, the advice here is definitely to embrace your humanity, embrace nature, and keep things close to your chest for now. So now let's take a look at what might be blocking this manifestation from coming in. I'm going to move these guys to the side. Okay, let's see. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. And that's clarified by the Three of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The Queen of Cups in reverse, clarified by the Three of Pentacles. What's blocking it is sharing too much. So the Queen of Cups is the only Cups card where the cup is covered. Like here, do you see how her hand is like covering the cup? And that usually talks about emotional control, about keeping things within, keeping things to yourself, knowing when to share and when not to. So to have that in reverse, clarified by the Three of Pentacles, which is the card of collaborations, it kind of gives us this sense of not knowing when to keep things to yourself versus when to just speak. You might have things like compulsive speaking, where you kind of don't think before you say things. You just blurt things out and then you're like, whoa, why did I say that? And right now, you're really being called to work on that and to work really hard on it, because the more you talk about this to people who may not necessarily be in the right frame of mind to receive and encourage, the more you're kind of losing steam, so to speak. So it's like, if say you need a listening ear and you go talk to someone who is just really not in the right frame of mind to listen, hold space, or give you advice, or, just listen, right? Their lack of enthusiasm, their lack of support might make you feel some kind of way, and then you kind of take that emotion and attach it to this thing you're trying to manifest, and then suddenly the vibes are all off. And suddenly you've pushed it further away. And I don't think it's anyone's fault, because I don't think anyone actively wants your downfall, because that would be stupid and those people need to get a hobby. But I think it's more that when you want to talk about things, or when you feel the need to talk about things, it is very important to make sure that, one, the person you're talking to or the people you're talking to are in the right frame of mind and really do have your best interests at heart and are willing and able to hold space for you in that moment. Because otherwise, you're going to come away from that conversation just completely dejected, completely unclear on how you feel about things anymore, and it just complicates things for no reason. So what could actively block this manifestation from coming to you is a refusal to keep things to yourself. I feel like that's like a really big message for you right now. Next, we have the Tower in reverse, clarified by the Ace of Wands in reverse. The other thing blocking your manifestation right now is a refusal to let go of something you feel strongly about and embrace a new passion. So there might be something in your past that really, truly makes you feel very, very, very intense emotions. Like something that's happened maybe even years and decades ago, and it doesn't even necessarily affect your life today, at least not in like a significant way. But because that emotion was so intense, you kind of wrapped your personality around it, and refusing to let that go is now actively hindering your ability to manifest, because all the passion that you have that could be going towards something meaningful, something divinely guided, is going towards this tower that you refuse to let fall. Right? And because of that, it's like you have no energy left at all for what? Oh, okay. So you have no energy left from within towards bringing this into your life. And then you go out seeking energy from other people, but everyone is depleted the same way. So you're not really going to get what you need from anyone else. The only way to do it is to let this tower fall. Let the past be the past. It does not have to affect your future. And, it doesn't have to have that influence over who you are anymore, because it's not who you are anymore. The longer you hold on to that, the longer you're putting on all your energy into that, the less energy you have for the things that actually matter, the things that you actually want to bring in. So letting that tower fall, it might be a huge ego death. It might completely change your sense of self. But that is exactly what we want, because that's the person who has this abundance. That new person, that person who has the energy, the energy that is now freed up to put towards things they are actually passionate about. That's who you want to be. Okay, your animal spirit card for what's blocking you is, beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards. The scarab beetle spirit. Magic works through you. Oh, I love this card. It always makes me so happy when it comes out. It's card 52, so that could be a significant number. Scarab beetle spirit. In ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered, for the creative magic of scarab beetle spirit reminds us that we can bring forth something extraordinary, seemingly out of thin air. Whenever you let your creativity flow through you, scarab beetle spirit reminds you that spirit has given you the gift of infinite potential. You have an ally as you fashion something new or repurpose the old, for spirit co-creates with you, channeling energy through you so that you feel replenished and vitalized as you make magic with what is at hand. Now is a time for great optimism, for you can accomplish anything you desire and your creative endeavors will come to fruition. Miracles, opportunities, abundance, and love will appear seemingly out of nowhere as you allow spirit to work through you and magically manifest what you need. Boom. Yeah. It is just about allowing. And I think to some extent, this feeling like you can't let go of this, and so you have to seek energy externally to fuel your desires. Like, a lot of that definitely comes from trying to control the source from which things come to you. And maybe that's why this card is here, because this is going to be a lesson for you in not knowing where things are coming from, not knowing how things are going to pan out, but having the faith that they will regardless. And that's why the scarab beetle spirit is here, because magic does work through you, Pile 3. You simply have to allow it. Okay, so finally, what's your advice for this? We have the crumbling. This is this deck's equivalent of the Tower card. What are you clinging on to? Oh my goodness. I did not pick these cards out. They just fell out when I was shuffling. I haven't looked at these already. So what are you clinging on to? What is it that's holding your energy captive? That's what that is. It's holding your energy captive. How can you let go of whatever this tower is so that all of that energy is freed up? It's like, this is a silly example, but you know how when you have a bank account, you can open a fixed deposit and that money is like blocked away with the bank, and sure, it trickles out a little bit of interest to you, but it's not a lot. But in order to have the big amount, the principal amount available to you, you really do have to go to the bank and be like, actually, can you break that fixed deposit for me, please? That's what that is. It's like all your energy is trapped in this fixed deposit. It could be a recurring deposit, the way you keep feeding into it, but it's not available for you to use for what really matters. So go to like your energy bank and be like, guys, I need to break that deposit because I need that energy now. It's better for that energy to be put to use rather than just sit there with things that don't help it grow. Okay, and finally we have surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, literally beautiful. But also, yeah, definitely surrender. There's like a big message of surrender. Let go. Let go of needing to know exactly how things are going to pan out. Let go of the need to keep every single person in your life informed about every single thing that's going on. Just what would happen if you just didn't do any of it? What would happen if you just give yourself one day to just not contact anyone, not talk to anyone, not feel this compulsive need to update every single person on every single thing? What would happen? Only one way to find out. You should definitely try it. That's all I'm saying. So, but yeah, there is very much a lot of abundance coming your way. It is just about allowing it in and keeping it for yourself for a bit. Okay, so that's your reading for today, Pal 3. Very interesting. I truly hope it helped and that it brought you some support and clarity. If it did, then please remember to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Comment below how this resonated for you. If you like what I do, would like to support my work, you can always send me an email about a private reading, or you can check out my PayPal tip jar in the video description below, and I super appreciate it. But in either case, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me and letting me do this reading for you. I truly hope it helped. You can stick around to the outro just after this for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.